like I said, pulled over in Christian County, Missouri, DWI, blew a .337, where the legal limit is .08. And can you imagine?
You'd be blackout drunk.
It's extremely intoxicated. And according to the court, the court documents and the arrest documents, she was very inebriated. But she ends up, this is all before she's even made it to court for stealing. And so now we've got the stealing charges, we've got the DUI, she's kind of spiraling, very much spiraling actually. And so we're just now sitting back just waiting to see how everything unfolds. Now I knew whenever I saw the court information that this wasn't going to be a case for her lying and doing what she did with the adoption. That was going to have to be something that if I wanted to, I'd have to file a civil case. And that's not something that we were wanting to do at the time. We were going to see how the attorney's lawsuit and the attorney's case ended up panning out. And so we watched that unfold and then had a little bit of a DUI involved in that as well. She's actually going to court for this, for the stealing of the money. And so I think she had like hearings and different things like that. They all started September and then in November, and then the attorney she used and everything else like did a good job at kicking the can for her, because there was a lot of postponing. Some of it was on the court systems just due to scheduling and different things like that, and I understand that that's how it works, but she definitely took advantage of that as much as she could and prolonged this court case for a pretty long time before anything really happened.
2 years.
Yeah, before anything really happened. And you know what? I always thought, and I could be wrong, but I always thought that the type of person that she is sat there with a big head being like, see? Because I feel like even in some comments that she had made, it was almost like she was better than these charges and that this wasn't really what was going on and nothing was ever going to happen to her. And it's not just me being bitter, that is some of the comments that were actually overheard, allegedly, that I found out. Mom was actually... she actually went to all, or at least almost all, if not all, of the court appearances for that particular case. And so I'm going to spin it to her for this next part.
I went to all the cases. I mean, I wanted to see what was going to happen to her. I knew that it wouldn't be anything to do with the adoption. That would be all with the money. But still, there had to be some kind of justice. And it was, in going to all of these, as I said, it was drug out to like almost 2 years. I would see her for different reasons. It would get put off a couple times. I think she was in the hospital. I'm not going to say she wasn't sick. Maybe she was, but it always ended up at the time that a court date was coming up and she would end up in the hospital.
Conveniently. Days before.
Right.
Hours sometimes.
But, I would watch her attitude there, and I would see sometimes that she would just be so scared that she was just shaking. And the judge would give her all of these orders, and she knew, what she was supposed to do and not supposed to do. And even though the DWI hadn't come into play yet, she was ordered to still not be, driving. She didn't have a license, so she couldn't drive. The license had been taken from the DUI. But anyway, I would see her walk out of court after being in there and walk out like she's confident nothing's going to happen. She would get in her vehicle and from the courthouse with no license and drive away.